yurt. I got recommended this girl on my fucking YouTube shorts, so I'm gonna start reacting to her content. This to me is so clearly a PSYOP. I'm not gonna pull up the LinkedIn page that pops up for her, and quite frankly, you just see that she immediately works for the PSYOPs division in the US military. And honestly, I don't think this shit even works. It's just kind of like, let me be attractive in a military suit, that way I can get virgins and people who like guns to join the military. People who like guns already gonna join the military. God, they mentioned Bella Poarch in this? That's crazy. I know Natalia Fadiv, actually. It just gives you a good idea of the aesthetic that these people go for and what they're trying to do. This is quite literally just a military PSYOP. It's like, let me be attractive, let me have big boobs, and let me put on a military vest and hold a gun, and I'll grift into 50,000 likes per post, right? This isn't a unique situation. I bring up this Titanic article because everybody's been talking about how the Titanic Titan tour was controlled by a game controller, and apparently since 2017 the US Navy has been using Xbox 360 controllers, wired 360 controllers. So to me, making an e-girl, right, who's interested in the US Army is a very clear play at like 14-year-olds who like Call of Duty, who otherwise aren't getting laid and don't talk to women. So I'm gonna take a look at some of her content, see if I want to join the military after the fact, I guess. Something that makes Luan a little bit more unique than other, I guess, like trad or generally speaking military PSYOP women. She's kind of like a memer, you know? She kind of like makes memes, is like kind of doing the deep fried shit that Zoomers love and Gen Z loves. So it is interesting, and it's just to me very clear like children's advertising to get them into the military, which is fucking crazy. Because if you look at, like, for instance, Call of Duty, right? If you look at the Highway of Death in Call of Duty, the most recent Call of Duty, the Highway of Death is a American-led tragedy on the country of Iraq and Kuwait. I guess it's the highway between the two during the Gulf War. America blew up a motherfucking highway, right? In Call of Duty, you could actually see that same exact highway, all the same details, except one key detail. They say that the people who did it were the Russians, not the people who actually did it, us. So this isn't new. This isn't a new thing. I believe also in the most recent Call of Duty, you have to aim your gun at civilians in order to de-escalate situations, which is also fucking nuts to me, because why are we aiming guns at civilians in anything, especially when we're gonna give them 360 controllers to handle drones? I would like there to be a little bit more humanity in what we're doing. And that brings us, of course, to Luan, who, again, realistically is just trying to utilize her looks to get any type of interest into her content, and I guess in turn into the US military that they can. I'm gonna go through a lot of her TikToks, I'm gonna go through a lot of her YouTube and just kind of see what it's all about. I got recommended this one, so I guess we'll start with this one. I got recommended this one first.
I probably shouldn't.
Kind of funny. I do think it's interesting that she leans so heavily into the PSYOP conversation. This man is thick as hell. She tries to like diffuse the fact that she literally is making PSYOPs with the deep fried memes and TikTok memes. But realistically speaking, I really don't see how this works. Like this is kind of funny, but like it's just like, oh, hot girl with makeup freckles walks into army, I become army. This is never gonna, that's not real. It's not gonna actually happen. And like doing makeup tutorials, so it's like, who is this for, right? Like, are you doing makeup tutorials to get women to join the military, or are you making the rest of your content like the way that you're making it so that way you can get men to join the military? Like you're not, like, what is the thirst trap? It's interesting, if you go back far enough on Luan's content, you see her kind of become more of a normal teenager who's kind of just like posting content or like looking like a regular Zoomer, you know. She just pretty much looks like a normal person with normal friends, you know, like And then she, I believe, ends up graduating the JFK school. Kind of leads to these kinds of posts, right? Where it's like, oh, all right, I'm in the military now, but like not really. And then you get all the way leaned into this corner where it's like, oh, like, hey, let me just play with a YF6000. And like the edits and like the deep fried memes and like the fucking hearts and shit, it's just like so clear that like she's advertising to like 14-year-old boys, man. It's just so weird. And it's like not even done like with glitter. Like it's not even done in my opinion in a way that like is gonna work. I don't know. That's just wild, man. I don't realistically have a problem with guns. I don't realistically have a problem with wanting people to join the military. Honestly, joining the military takes a tremendous amount of courage, skill, and it takes it's probably a very fulfilling process. You know, you get to feel like you're doing something for a greater good. You know, I'm not gonna shit on the military, but what I am going to shit on is the US military, because they tend to use all of those positive traits in humans to exploit them to do whatever the fuck they'd like them to. And when you just get like a hot girl, you get this girl with a fucking Magnum popping outside like, whoa, look at all this fucking, look at this firepower, bro. The helmet, you get her. Again, she just leans into the PSYOP conversation so heavy. It's just interesting to me.
I'm a 21-year-old female soft operator who's been serving with the Secret Tactical Division for 19 years now. Over the years, I've learned a lot about gear. What works, what doesn't work, and what's gonna straight up get you and your boys killed.
But yeah, it's like, here, let me show off my tits, and then let me just be funny for like 5-10 minutes.
You good?
It's the most like outside looking in trying to be a zoomer to me. That's about right. Let's go to our most popular
How
thing.
about a motherfucking mukbang? We got a beef taco. Santa Fe rice and beans.
Oh my
Just
god,
look at
she's
that.
so
Let's try.
quirky.
Hey, that's nice. That's really, really nice.
And a little bit of chicken fried.
Like, CNN sucks, man. I'm not gonna argue that either, but like, wow, I just ate fucking military food. Doesn't CNN suck? It's like the most right-wing grift shit.
Close your eyes, you did. Open up, suck this dick, it ain't. I'm with your bitch in the art.
Soldiers be running around like, copy that, roger that. Like, bro, the fuck? Couldn't be me. I simply would never.
She's not lying about her age, right? Like I don't think at least. Like she's a zoomer. I just don't like. It's the most like, all right, it's my job to like pull out my phone and just say some low random shit. So this is some low random shit.
Do your own thing.
Like the whole e-girl culture and like trying to flip it into military e-girl is just so interesting to me, because again, you're pretty much teaching your soldiers at this point to use Xbox controllers, right? If you're trying to get people who are good at using Xbox controllers, it's very blatant to be like, oh, let me just make an e-girl. You know, like if I want a 14-year-old who's good at Call of Duty, how do I get his attention? With a motherfucking e-girl, bro.
I just ate an MRE and I licked my finger and it started fucking smoking. Like the MRE is making my spit smoke. Look at this. Do you see that? What the fuck?
I don't. Oh,
What the fuck?
Yeah. That's crazy. But that's probably because they give you fucking toxic ass food, my guy.
It's here in Europe and I found out that we can trade uniforms. Flag on it too.
Sorry, I didn't know it was her. I came inside and I asked.
What?
You asked me what the girls. I asked her inside. You're like, oh, I don't think so.
Oh, no, that's okay.
That's why I sent you there. Sorry.
Yeah, I got stuck turning in the vehicles for like a long time.
I'm not gonna like comment on the fact that like obviously the Belgian people are like smarter and better soldiers, because like not only does she not know any other language, but like they just seem like thrown off by
I'm a
weird 18-year-old girl
girl.
with a phone. But it's also just like, look at this thing we could do. You know, it's like, oh my god, you get to trade uniforms if you're in the army. Don't look at the bad sides. I do think it's also interesting that like everybody in the comments is fucking calling this shit out. No, nice try, recruiter. I can't. I think I'm over it. It's really just like the most like, oh my god, low random. Bullshit, bro. But it's like, how do you think that's gonna work? There's like no punch to any of it. I give it props for the Jersey Club beat. Also, just like the disabled like dislike ratio. Generally speaking, if you try to advertise to your audience directly, or like if you're really blatantly advertising to one type of person, I don't really think they're going to be receptive to what you're saying, because it's going to be so clear that this is a marketing strategy towards a group of people who are like 14 and hyper on the internet because you're making deep fried memes, and good with Xbox controllers because you want to use drones now that use Xbox 360 controller. Like, why can't we get them in a, like, all the time? The government gets resources before us. Why the fuck are they still using Xbox 360 controllers? Why do they not have a brand new controller that nobody else has? I am so confused by so much of how the military operates, and I guess one of those things is the fact that they choose to flood so much goddamn money into shit like this. This is just a waste of fucking money. This and the fucking Titan is such a waste of our tax money, brother.
That's actually expired. I'm not gonna eat that.
Yeah, don't.
Here's
This is what I
22
saw.
LR.
This is what was recommended to
Little
me.
boy, beer bottle.
Are you kidding me? That was your first shot.
Fucking way.
That was your first shot.
I'm gonna watch the full long version of this after this, and then I'm gonna.
Me.
Dylan Mulvaney, sponsor me.
No.
Yes.
No. We'll get canceled.
Huh?
We'll get canceled.
Cancer? Dude, you know my grandpa just died.
Okay, fine. I'm sorry.
That's not cool.
I do want Dylan Mulvaney to sponsor her. Just kidding. It's like the most 2010 YouTube shit, but like deep fried meme era.
No, my
I'm not gonna watch this whole thing. I thought I would, but like, it's like actually sucking the soul out of me. So I'm gonna let this shit go. Yeah, I think long story short, nobody's really falling for this shit anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Stop wasting our money, American government, and stop trying to get me to join the military by throwing attractive women in military uniforms at me.